You've probably tried the usual advice. Turn off notifications, delete the app, put your phone in another room. And for a day, maybe two, it works. Then you're right back to reaching for it the second you feel bored or anxious or even just still. Here's the thing nobody tells you. This isn't a phone problem. It's a dopamine problem. And once you understand what's actually happening in your brain every time you scroll, the habit stops feeling like a mystery and starts feeling like something you can actually work with instead of fight against. Let's talk about dopamine because most people have it backwards. Dopamine isn't the pleasure chemical, that's the myth. Dopamine is the anticipation chemical. It doesn't spike when you get the reward, it spikes right before when your brain isn't sure if a reward is coming. That uncertainty is the whole trick. Psychologists call it a variable reward schedule, the same mechanism that makes slot machines addictive. If a slot machine paid out every single time, you'd get bored fast. It's the not knowing that keeps you pulling the lever. Your phone is running the exact same system. Every time you refresh your feed, your brain doesn't know what's coming next. Could be something boring, could be something hilarious, could be a message from someone you like. That unpredictability is what makes scrolling almost impossible to stop midway. You're not full yet, because you never know if the next one is the good one. Each scroll is a tiny dopamine spike, not a big one. It's not satisfying enough to make you stop. It's just satisfying enough to make you do it again. You're not looking for pleasure, you're chasing the next maybe. How notifications hijack your attention. Now here's the part most people never hear about, and it explains why even a silent phone on the table can pull your focus. Your brain has an ancient system for detecting anything unexpected in your environment, originally built to notice a rustle in the grass that might be a predator. It's called your orienting response. Anything sudden, novel, or unpredictable gets flagged as "check this now" automatically before you even decide to look. A notification ping, or even just the possibility of one, taps directly into that same wiring. Your brain can't tell the difference between something important happened and something mildly interesting happened on an app. It just knows something changed, and changed things get priority. That's why studies on attention residue show something strange. Even after you put the phone down, part of your attention stays stuck on it. Your brain keeps a background thread running, checking in, wondering if something new has shown up. You're not fully present in the next thing you do. A chunk of your focus is still tethered to the last notification you saw or the one you're expecting. So the pull isn't just "I want to scroll," it's "a part of my brain is still on alert, waiting to see what happens next." That's a much harder thing to out-willpower. Think about the last time you were standing in a line, or waiting for a page to load, or sitting through an ad. What did your hand do? For most people, it's already halfway to their pocket before their brain even finishes the thought. That's not weakness, that's a habit loop that's been reinforced thousands of times. Cue, craving, response, reward. The cue is the gap. The craving is the discomfort of the gap. The response is picking up the phone. And the reward is that small hit of maybe something good is here. And here's where it compounds. Because your orienting response is also quietly active in the background, even a boring 5 minutes at your desk can start to feel restless. Not because the task in front of you is actually uncomfortable, but because part of your attention is still waiting for the next ping. So you reach for the phone not to escape boredom exactly, but to relieve that low-grade checking itch your brain has learned to expect. Every single time you do that loop, it gets a little stronger. Which is exactly why trying to white-knuckle your way out of it with willpower alone almost never sticks. You're fighting a system that's been trained by repetition, not by choice. Here's the good news. If the habit was built by a loop, it can be rebuilt by a loop. You don't need more willpower. You need to change what happens at the gap, the moment right before you'd normally reach for your phone. So here's the one-step fix. The next time you feel that itch, boredom, a lull, waiting for something, instead of reaching for your phone, do one deliberate thing first. Look up, take one breath, name one thing you can see around you, just 1 second of a different response. That's it. That single second interrupts the automatic loop and puts a tiny gap of choice back into a moment that used to be pure reflex. It also gives your orienting response a chance to settle. A few seconds of just noticing your surroundings tells your brain there's nothing urgent to check, and the background alert starts to quiet down. You're not trying to quit your phone, you're just teaching your brain that the gap doesn't have to be filled the same way every time. Do that consistently and the loop weakens, not because you're forcing it, but because you're giving your brain a new pattern to run instead. Your brain isn't broken, and neither is your willpower. You're just running a system that was built to respond to uncertainty, and now you know exactly how it works. If this helped, subscribe to The Thinking Human so you don't miss next week's. Every video is another piece of understanding yourself better.